Welcome to the Better Banking Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Foster, and behind the scenes, as always, is producer Rune. What fresh disaster is going down in the control booth today, producer Rune?
Everything is fine, except for the dot matrix printer that started printing last week. It is still printing. Ran out of ink a long time ago, and we may never get it to stop. But aside from that, everything is fine. How are you?
I'm great, again with the printer. Hey, the Better Banking Podcast is brought to you by Gain Federal Credit Union to fulfill our promise to share our financial knowledge for your financial gain. Now, I'm not the expert, but I know the experts, and we bring you the experts to help you manage your money better with useful information and resources. We also share our insights on how credit unions work and how they're different from banks. That's a lot, so let's get started. Visiting the podcast today is one of our former interns here at Gain Federal Credit Union. She's currently a senior at Burbank High School, and her name is Maria Barajas. Welcome, Maria.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you can make time to come in and do this with us.
Of course, always. Anything for Gain.
Tell us when you started your internship service here at the credit union.
I started my internship June 13th, 2022. I vividly remember getting the call. My mom was driving. I didn't recognize the phone number, and I told her immediately, I was like, "You're pulling over right now. You're pulling over." I was very scared. I won't lie. I didn't know if it was going to be disappointing news, exciting news. But once I got the news, once I got the yes, the okay, I slapped the mute button. Oh my gosh, the yell, the scream I let out. My mom was literally deaf.
Wow. Well, that's good. That's great to hear. And so you were also a student in our Independent Advantage class, isn't that right?
Yes, I took the class in October of 2022.
If you could, just tell our listeners what the Independent Advantage program is.
The class is a 4-session financial literacy class, and it teaches you a lot of different things. It's a lot of basic fundamentals that are very crucial for a young person. It's budgeting, it's credit scores, it's how to manage your money. It's how to not get scammed.
So that is a lot. And you're right. It covers a lot of ground. There's a lot of information. You actually get a lot of wisdom in the class up front in a 4-week period. What do you think is the most valuable lesson that you learned from the Independent Advantage program?
For myself, the most valuable lesson was definitely responsibility and accountability, because I've even ran into it myself after taking the class. I'll get DMs or text messages and they're all scams, and I probably would have clicked on them or responded to them beforehand before taking the class. Or when I get my paycheck, I probably would have spent it on a bunch of things that I didn't need. The class helps you become responsible at a young age, and I think that's very important because being materialistic is a very popular thing as a young person, and it's kind of hard to fight it.
Yeah, and like you were mentioning, budgeting for those expenses is very important, and it's so easy. It's so easy to just spend the money that you have on things that you see every day. It's very important to learn how to control your finances and control your spending habits. Do you think that other students who may not have gone through the program are not prepared?
Oh, 100%. 100% I believe that. Because if there are kids and teens who aren't privileged enough to have parents or adults to teach them about these things, they kind of are going to have to learn the hard way. They're going to have to make the mistakes first and then grow after that. Because there's people my age who don't know what a credit report is, what a credit score is, how interest works. Basic information that everybody should know.
And it's information that you're going to need for the rest of your life, too.
Yeah.
So the Independent Advantage program gives a lot of information to students. How to balance a checkbook, how to budget, preparing for short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. And at the end of the program, the students have a savings account, they have a checking account, they have a debit card. They are more than familiar with how to use and access their funds, access their accounts. They also have the opportunity to get a credit card, which is a pretty big step in a financial your financial life. Did you happen to take advantage of the credit card offer?
Yes, of course. Honestly, that and free food, of course. The credit card was one of the biggest attractions and the biggest motives for why I wanted to take the class. because I honestly, I wanted my own separate money aside from my parents. I wanted it to spend on what I want, save what I want, just be independent. And also, I was learning in school through the NAF program, the NAF Business Academy, about credit scores. And I knew that was very important. And I knew if I got a credit card, I can start building credit at the age of 16. You cannot find that opportunity anywhere else, at least that I've heard of. So it was great. It was a one of a lifetime opportunity, and I'm so grateful that I took it.
That's great. And so you mentioned NAF. Tell us about NAF. What is that?
So NAF stands for National Academy Foundation. It's a program at Burbank High School as well as Burroughs High School where they have business, medical, and an engineering academy. Once you join one of those academies, you go through certain classes. It helps you get a taste of what your career can be like. So since I'm in Business Academy, I was taught about accounting and finance and marketing. I just got a little glimpse of it. I'm so grateful, and I encourage other students to join NAF Academy because there's so many different opportunities that are accessible to you if you just take that step.
And what academy were you enrolled in?
I was enrolled in Business Academy, and I'm so grateful that I enrolled because thanks to Business Academy, I met Gain. They came to our class, they presented about the IA program, and immediately I knew I wanted to join.
If you're looking for a better return on your money than traditional savings accounts, consider share certificates from Gain Federal Credit Union. We offer jumbo certificates if you've got a lot to put away, or a Savings Plus certificate for those who are just getting started out. We've even got certificates that let you raise your rate or make additional deposits and withdrawals if you need. Or start a traditional certificate so you can set it, forget it, and earn. For full details and to find our current and special rates or set notifications to know when rates change, visit gainfcu.com/certificates. Gain is insured by the NCUA and an equal housing lender.
You applied for the internship program and you got accepted. Congratulations, and thank you for the service that you provided to the credit union. But you were also an Independent Advantage ambassador. So tell us a little bit about what that entails.
Being an ambassador was really fun because I love talking to people. I'm a very social person. So it was a great role for me. And you just talk to everybody about what the class entails, about Independent Advantage, what it has, the benefits, the free food. Everybody loves the free food. Everybody's eyes open in the class when you mention the free food.
There's free food?
Free food, man. Free food.
Like what kind of food do they serve?
Panda Express, In-N-Out, Taco Bell. Everybody loves food.
If you feed them, they will come.
Exactly.
So what are the responsibilities of being an Independent Advantage ambassador?
So the responsibility of an ambassador is to prepare about a 5-minute presentation, and you go around to different classes talking about the IA program. You talk about the 4 sessions. Of course, you have to mention the free food because we all know everybody's going to do it for the free food. And honestly, you just answer questions. It's about being open. It's about being social. And even if you don't have those skills, the ambassador program is a great way to exercise that and to better yourself in that area.
And so as an ambassador, you're there to promote the program. Do you sign them up right there in person?
We used to pass out these sign-up sheets, but we found an easier way. There's a QR code on the flyer. So we pass out the flyers in class, and students can just sign the QR code. All of the dates are on the back of the flyers. It's super easy for them to sign up.
That sounds super easy. So you were an Independent Advantage student. Then you became an Independent Advantage ambassador. And then you became a Gain intern.
Yep.
So tell us what you did as a Gain intern.
So as an intern, I spent half of my time in business development. Shout out to Brock, Lori, Jasmine.
Never heard of them. Nope.
They were so encouraging. They really helped grow my curiosity, and they always supported me when I had questions. And when I wasn't spending time in business development, I spread out my time through all of the different departments. And it was great because it kind of felt like a buffet. You know, you go to a buffet, you get a little bit of everything. And once you leave, you're always satisfied. You're always full. And so in this experience, I left full of knowledge, you know? And it was great because coming in, I knew I wanted to study business and that I was interested in that area for my career. But, you know, as a young person, it can get confusing, it can get overwhelming. So it was great to get a little bit of everything because now I have more perspective.
Yeah, it's like you get a peek behind the curtain. You get to realize or see how many different departments actually are here at the credit union to make it work. Most of the membership is probably familiar with our frontline, whether that's a teller, new accounts, or someone on the telephone in our call center. But you got to look behind the scenes and realize that there's multiple departments all supporting those frontline people, and which in turn support our membership. It is an eye-opening experience to see just how many people work here, how many departments there are, and how they're all intertwined. Do you have a favorite department that you worked with? I know you mentioned business development, but were there any other?
I might be a little biased with business development just because I spent so much time there, but I really loved it. I feel like business development is great for you if you're a social person. There's a lot of hands-on work. They gave me this project where I had to plan a award ceremony. I really loved that. It was great.
Tell us about that. I know the interns do get a special project assigned to them. What was the ceremony about?
So the award ceremony that I was in charge of planning was actually for the Gaining Ground scholarship that was being handed out to a few students. It was really fun. I was in charge of picking the place, the budgeting, the decorations. Honestly, I was in charge of everything, but any doubts I had, Lori, Brock, and Jasmine, they were all there to help me. So it was a great experience because they kind of just handed it to you. It's your responsibility to make it work, to make it successful. I think it was really great. It was really great to build my independence.
I know you liked working with business development. I asked if there was another favorite department that you worked with. The correct answer would have been marketing. That's what we were looking for. Thank you for playing.
Oh my gosh.
Can you tell us about some of the skills that you may have learned here that, while interning or while taking the Independent Advantage program or even being an ambassador that you think are going to help you in real life?
The skills that I learned from GAIN, countless, endless. There's so many. If I had to narrow it down, I'd say organization, being punctual, and networking. Through the internship and through my time here, I realized how important networking is. It's actually insane. Knowing people, connections, friendships, that's what gets you ahead in life. Of course, working hard is as well, but you really need others to help you in order to advance in life, in your career, and everything. Being punctual. Being on time helps your image so much. No one likes a late person. It's not a good look. And organizing. If you're not organizing, oh my gosh, your life is going to be tough. So I'm definitely going to be taking all of those skills into college and into my career and into wherever I'll be working in the future.
Punctuality and being organized and networking. Very important. I know that many people probably have a bank account. Many people probably have a credit union account. Let's talk about the differences between credit unions and banks.
Yes, we actually went over that in the Independent Advantage class, and it was really cool to learn about it because I honestly had no clue what the difference was. I didn't know that credit unions were nonprofit. I just thought that they were smaller banks. I'm going to be completely honest. But now that I've been to a credit union, I realize how different it is from a bank. You know, I used to go to a bank with my dad like every weekend, and it's more corporate. It's more get to the point, more of a transaction. But when I come to GAIN, it's kind of like a friendship. The hospitality is just, it's different. Some of the tellers know members by their names. You don't see that happening too often at a bank.
And banks are fine. You know, they build bridges, they get roads built, they build churches, synagogues. Credit unions are really for personal consumer financing, checking accounts, savings accounts, lending, auto loans, credit cards, things that you need through life. And I think you're right. There is a familiarity with the member because the people who bank here are owners of the credit union. They have a say in how things are operating. And, we're not beholden to shareholders back east. It's all people who bank here. They're the owners.
I've never seen a credit union or a bank focus so much on the youth. And I think that's great because sometimes the younger generations are overlooked a little bit. You know, I might walk into a bank and not really get the same attention that I would get if I was an adult. So I love that game. Just they work on helping everybody. You know, there's no excluding anybody.
Well, we do believe that everyone deserves access to fair and honest banking services, and that's what you get right here at Gain. So you've given us a lot of great information. Do you have anything to say about the Independent Advantage program that we haven't discussed already?
I really want to encourage any and every high school student to take the class because it is so important. Even if you're not in high school, let's say you have your child, your grandson, your neighbor, your niece, your nephew, anybody. This is a great opportunity. You really don't see opportunities like this nowadays. So I think it's just really important that everybody takes advantage of Independent Advantage.
Terrific. And you know what else? It's free. We don't charge our members to take the program.
What's funny is that I've had students come up to me and ask, well, what's the catch? Why is it free? And I just look at them and I say, there is no catch. This is all for you. It's for your benefit. Gain Federal Credit Union is trying to educate the youth, and you should take the opportunity.
Or you could tell them it's $50 and to give them you the money and, you know, good luck.
Don't give me ideas. I'm still an ambassador.
Maria, thank you so much for making time to come in and talk with us. Thank you for doing the Independent Advantage course and becoming an ambassador. You have a bright future ahead of you, I'm sure, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
And that's all for this episode. Please send us your comments, questions to podcast@gainfcu.com, and be sure to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Once again, thanks to our Gain intern and Independent Advantage Ambassador Maria Barajas, and to Producer Rune in the control room. How are things going in there, Producer Rune?
Zombies! Zombies! Zombie problem. Back to you.
Join us next time because, as you know, there's a lot more to gain.
The views and opinions expressed by hosts and guests of the Better Banking Podcast are not those of Gain Federal Credit Union. Gain Federal Credit Union is insured by the NCUA and an equal housing lender. NMLS number 407810.